So the big question is this. How entrepreneurs like us who have been breaking with old beliefs, like the idea of holding a 9-to-5 job and living paycheck to paycheck, taking a lifetime to reach business and life success as the only option we have? How do we grow our business in a way that lets us highly service our customers, getting our products and services and the things that we believe in out into the world without diluting our life but enhancing it and taking the journey of internal and external growth? That is the question, and this podcast will give you the answer. Your host is Marina Simon, and welcome to 10 Exit. Life and business as usual? Never again.
Hi guys! I am so happy to be here with you today. So, recently, I've been trying to listen to different stuff that I normally do. I was consuming a lot of news, right? From very special channels, the guys that said the truth, etc. But guess what? I have a realization. What you consume, right, you digest, and that's the creation of your day. So I decided to change a couple of things in my day, and they have been working pretty good. One of the things is I've been trying to listen and read things that are more creative and trying to find different beings, right? Different from the norm. Kind of outstanding, right? And in my search, I found this guy, which many of you might know. I didn't know it, right? His name is Jesse Itzler. Jesse Itzler is one of the most outstanding entrepreneurs I've ever heard of. He is married to the wife or to the person who created Spanx. For those who are ladies, you know what I'm talking about. Sarah is the creator of Spanx. She's also quite an outstanding being. And if you Google her, you'll see, they have very, very interesting stories. But my point is, I was looking into different videos, and this one came out, right? It was an interview of Jesse. And there were a couple of points that he addressed that I really, really loved, and I want to share with you. One of the things is, as an entrepreneur, and just as a person, right, that lives life and creates life every day, you want to be different. How are you different? As a person that is helping others, as a person that is servicing your own public, and how is your product or service different from the rest? You really need to do a soul search cycle on this, because that will give you your edge. If you find really how is it that you're different providing these services or products for others, and how is your product itself different, that can really change the results that you're giving, right? Look at the people who have thrived. They have done things different. Even Steve Jobs used to use this quote, and I'll read to you, right? And I find out it wasn't from Steve Jobs. It was a quote that exists even before him. And it says, "Here's to the crazy ones, the misfits, the rebels, the troublemakers, the round pegs in the square holes. The ones who see things differently. They're not fond of rules, and they have no respect for the status quo. You can quote them, disagree with them, glorify, or vilify them, but the only thing you can't do is ignore them, because they change things. They push the human race forward, and while some may see them as the crazy ones, we see genius. Because the ones who are crazy enough to think that they can change the world are the ones who do." And this, my friends, is the point. If you're different, you have an independent viewpoint from the general group or the population of the different groups, right? Sometimes they might call you crazy, but that difference is what gets you an edge and a different result of whatever you're trying to accomplish, the different problems that you're trying to solve for your ideal public or customer. So, take a look, do a soul search drill. Take a little bit of time that you have off, get a blank piece of paper, do it like the old times. You don't have to do it on the computer. I feel myself that when I brainstorm, I do it better on a piece of paper. And just write everything that comes into your mind, how you see. If you were your own customer, how is that you're doing things different than others? Right? And how are you, my friends, different? Because sometimes you are the brand of your own service and product. How are you different? How do you service your public that others do not do that? I'll give you an example. I think it was Domino's Pizza, was it? Or Pizza Hut? I think Domino's. Basically, the way they got their edge, and that's what they took you to be a huge organization, it was that they became different by giving your pizza free if they were over 30 minutes. They look at the difference, There was one particular experience that the owner was, thanks God he answered the phone. This is when he was starting, right? And he had a complaint because his pizza was late, right? And he decided to give that person a free pizza because it was late and to redo his pizza because it was cold. He sent it back and the customer was so happy. And he realized, what about if that becomes my brand? I'm going to do that. And he created a huge company, right? So like him, we see many examples. People do things differently. How about Apple? Apple does things differently, right? So look for those differences. Do really a drill on it and use it. Once you find that particular characteristic or couple of characteristics, use them. Use them and market them. And make sure that you comply with that. That you really take action and deliver that difference to your customers. Now, second point that he touched, storytelling. Storytelling, guys, can make you sell anything. So Jesse Itzler is the guy that really took Psycho, the coconut water, to a different level, right? And basically, how did he do that? Coconut water, it was before, we have all these energy drinks, right? And they're on fashion, right? Everybody takes them, you exercise, you run, right? And here he ran a 100-mile race. And he did his research before doing this, of course, right? And one of the things that he decided to take was coconut water. And he felt the difference. Imagine an ultramarathon. We call them ultramarathon race, right? He did it. He completed it. But he was taking coconut water, and that's how the idea came about. He found this company that was making certain amount of income, and he really did it so big. I think they sold to Coca-Cola. So there you have it. Storytelling. It's key. But he had to sell the story. People buy stories, guys. They don't buy just, it's good. It's really good. No, they buy stories. He had this 100-mile race and what did for him, right? And he used it. So it just helps you create momentum. Storytelling. When you want to sell something to your people that you want them to invest in you, or you want to, your own public, or you want your manufacturer to really, really help you and support you on producing your product. Storytelling. Key, guys. Key. Really. The other thing is, the real magic goes beyond what you can do. When you think you are done, you're only to your 40%. Now, this came about because this guy, I tell you guys, Google him. He is quite an outstanding personality. He is funny. He's a genius. He's crazy. And he's humble. And he's simple. He's real. So what happened is, when he did this 100 miles, there were so many things that happened in here, right? He met this other guy, a SEAL, which then he did a book of him, right? That's another different story that I tell you another time, and if not, Google him. But the bottom line is, on this race, he met this guy, right? Jesse had like 5 guys running with him, right? This other guy was running by himself. He broke, by mile 70, he had broken all the bones of his feet. And instead of stopping, right, Jesse was calling the ambulance. Well, this guy, he kept on running. What he did is he put some tape on it so he could finish the 30 other miles. That means more than a marathon, guys. You guys that run marathons understand it's 26.3 miles a marathon. He got 30 to go with all the broken bones in his feet. I cannot even imagine the pain. I've run marathons. I love running marathons. And my God, a blister multiplies the pain when you're running, several miles. I cannot even imagine broken bones. Because he had a very heavy body, he broke all his freaking bones. So, what happened is, he invites this guy to come and live with him. At the end of the race, he's like, okay, who's this guy, right? He's like, I can't believe it. I mean, mile 70, all bones broken, and he wasn't thinking about stopping. He's like, stop, I don't need anybody. He put tape and then continued running, finished his target, and then he was done, right? So he thought, you know what, if I can find the secret sauce of this guy that I can share with my children, how does he do this? Right? How does he become so strong mentally to really not surrounded to any obstacle and be able to beat anything in order to comply to your goals, right? So what he called him and invite him to have lunch. So they start having lunch, right? Salad. And he looked and he's like, no, this is more that takes the eye. I'm not going to have all this knowledge in a salad, right? In a lunch salad time. So he decided in that point to invite him to live with him. So he decided 30 days. The guy didn't have much. Jesse is multimillionaire. So he says, okay, my friend, here's your room. There you go. We're going to live together for 30 days. And the guy told him, Mooney, I forgot his first name, told him, the only thing that I'm going to request from you if we're going to do this is you will do anything. I will tell you, no matter what. Yeah, of course. Okay, first day, they woke up, right? At ungodly hours, the ones that we like waking up, right? Early morning. And so he says, okay, we're going to do some pull-ups. So Jesse did like 6, 8, maxed out. And he says, okay, what's next? And he says, oh no, we're just starting. You have to do 100 more. And for those guys that do pull-ups, or do CrossFit, understand what it means. Like, you do 8 and you're maxed out, doing another 72, it's kind of unthinkable, right? Even when you're in shape, 100 pull-ups is 100 pull-ups. So to not let you the story that long, what happened is, they did it. They didn't want, until he finished the pull-ups. And he ended up doing 1,000 pull-ups. Not that night, but he trained himself to do it. And like those exercises, right? What he learned is when you, and I think it's a SEAL thing, that when you feel you hit the wall and that's it, you cannot give more, you're only at your 40%. That means that you have 60 to go. And that, guys, is when the real magic starts, because you really push your boundaries and you can really create greatness. Another point is time and urgency. It's a very interesting way how he lives and sees life. I did an episode on the 5 main points that a, Tibetan monk share in a podcast. And one of them was the time to take a look at death. And not in a very sinister way or negative way, but in a positive way, like an urgency. And time viewpoint. Let's say that a normal body lives 80 years, right? Hey, I'm on my 52nd, round to the sun. So that means that I will have, and I'm just making estimations, right? I will have less than 30 years left on this body. For those that believe in coming back like I do, well, you change your underwear and you come back, right? But at least on this identity, called Marina, I must have around that amount of time, right? Maybe shorter, maybe longer. We don't know yet. So, we hope longer, for sure. But my point is, when he started looking at time like that, he really started looking at life like an investment. So you don't have too much time left. And that helped me as well. When you look at your parents, how many times do you see them? Right? Do you live with them, or you see them a couple of times a year or once a year? In my case, I see my mother once a year, guys. You know what? She already hit 80. If I see her once a year, I might see her once or twice. And we don't expect that, right? But it really changed the way you take action. And I think that's the bottom line that I want to say. Time and urgency, it's something you can use to your favor to take action. In life, we normally take the justification on time and experience. Have you been there? Raise your hand. I know I have. Right? I remember being in a classroom. I used to go to this school in Mexico where all the, key politicians, even the president, used to give classes there, right? And I remember being in this class, and I really wanted to work with this gentleman. He was a Ministry of Finance in Mexico at that time. Very amazing gentleman. He can go to Chicago University. Really, really competent guy. And I wanted to ask him for a job, right? But it was never the right time. Guess what? I never got a job with him. But if I would have gotten the urgency of the time, I had just one semester with him. And this semester, I was taking 2 classes a week with him. So if you count, it has a certain number of, days a week. So let's see. So twice a week in a month, it is what? It's 8 days, right? Let's see that I have a semester of 4 months, 5 months. So that will give you 20, 25 times, 22 times, right? So if I didn't do one day, I would not do the next one. So it was never the right time, and I never did it, guys. I work on other areas of the government, but I didn't work for that gentleman, which I really wanted to work for. So if you do not take action, it's never the right time. You want to go on a diet? Well, maybe tomorrow, right? It's never the right time, not now. Why not now, right? And if you know you don't have that much time left as you think you have an infinite time ahead, guess what? Count a little bit more. These bodies, unfortunately, are frail things. They don't last forever, So if you look life from a viewpoint of, okay, I have a certain amount of units, right, of time. Let's choose them like it was the last, because then you can really set your goals and really reach for them. Why wait? There was another example he did, cracks me up. He was going to climb, I don't know what mountain, right? It was like 4 kilometers up. He went all the way. He didn't make it. He had to carry a backpack, and it was a steep height, right? I think it was 4.5 miles, sorry. And he was in Facebook and all social media, and he didn't make it, and he hates that. So then he comes back home, right? And he tells to Sarah, which is, I told you, the spandex, like guru, like, they just sold it or went public. And he says, I didn't make it. And she turns around, he says, well, listen, why don't you drill, go out next winter, you're ready. But now drill with a backpack, break your shoes, right? Next winter, you go back and do it. And he says, oh no, I'm going this Saturday. What? Yeah, I don't have time. What are you talking about? You can do it next winter. Well, I don't know what's going to happen next winter. I might not be here anymore, right? If I don't do it right now, I'm never going to do it. And that's an incomplete goal I have. So the little stinker went in and did it that Saturday. So my point is, you know what? Everything is on our state of mind. If we decide time and experience is never right, and now I'm going to talk about experience. When somebody comes to you and offers you the amazing opportunity and you feel you're not there yet in experience, that's a stop. Never say no. Say yes and then figure out how to do it. You will never have enough experience to grow or to do the things you do. Something that stick with me on one of the other interviews I listened from him is like, I don't have time to do experience. I just need to know and do. And that's the way this guy operates. And it's a story of life because I think this world is of the doers. What do you think?
Thanks for joining us today on 10 Exit. Life and business as usual, never again. We love always hearing from you. Please feel free to send Marina an email, marina@marinasimonbrand.com. Your input and comments are always welcome, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And if you like the podcast, you can always subscribe to it. Remember, the best way to predict the future is to create it.